Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Let's Play with me, TheHande, and I'm joined again by...
James, the Retrokaiser, Kaiser.
Yes, and we're doing
Yes.
Simon the Sorcerer 2. And here's the intro, the rather extensive intro animation of this game. So, one question, have you ever played any of the games in the Simon the Sorcerer series?
No, I have not.
Yeah?
All I know is you point, you click, and you laugh at the jokes.
Yeah. This is a British adventure game. This was made by a company called Adventuresoft that are no longer around anymore. And there was actually just recently a rather infamous quote-unquote remaster of this game released for, I think, at least on GOG. I'm not sure if it was on Steam, but what they basically did was that they kind of slapped on a filter that kind of smushed the pixels together. And I remember people were not really happy about that.
What's this?
Oh, and by the way, so I'm running this game off, we're talking over pre-recorded footage. This is, for technical reasons, we're having to do this.
Where did you get it from?
So, I'm not moving the cursor. Well, I am moving the cursor, but it's happened in the past, so if we talk over stuff and we don't have time to listen to it, and don't judge us too heavily. We're having to do this the same way sort of the same way we did with the Gabriel Knight 3 Let's Play as well. One of the reasons is because this game has a full voiceover, and I think it does have subtitles, but you have to put them on from the menu, like the Scum VM menu. Because when I played this game for the first time, I played the demo of this. It came on some CD a long time ago. It did not have the text turned on, and there's not even an option in-game to turn them on, which is kind of weird.
If I was a powerful wizard like Sworded,
Yeah, that pentagram on the ground, all that's reminding me right now is a Full Metal Alchemist, because I just finished watching that show today.
Alright.
It's a ghost! Holy shit!
Yeah, that's Sorted. That's the villain of the first game.
I was alive. I was a powerful sorcerer.
And in case people are wondering, yes, I do have Simon the Sorcerer 1, but I never actually completed it. It's kind of weird, like, because this is a game I played as a child. I had a lot of, like, fond memories of it, and when I finally managed to get a boxed copy of this game, I played it all the way to the end. But I've never been able to really get into Simon 1, and one of the reasons is actually that it does have a full voiceover, but all the voices are different from this game, which is weird. Oh, sorry about that. There's also going to be like those odd little pauses because I'm actually running this game with Scum VM, but from the CD-ROM. So sometimes when like there's odd pauses when the characters are talking, that's because it's having to load the dialogue from the CD.
That's old school right there.
Yeah. Oh, that's a funny line. Trespassers and sarcastic magazine reviewers will be burned. I'm wondering if this is... There's a couple of jokes here where I think maybe the first time the Sorcerer got some...
Is he pissing in the pool? Oh, never mind.
I love this. Oh, let's listen to the dialogue here.
Master,
What is it?
I found him, Master. Look.
Excellent, excellent.
How are you going to get him, Master?
With this. What do you think?
This is a beautiful sprite animation.
It's a wardrobe, Master.
Exactly.
Pardon my ignorance, Master, but
It's not really a wardrobe, fool. It's a magical transportation device. I read about something similar in a children's book once.
Yep, so that's an obvious Narnia reference, but it's also referenced in the full title of this game, which we're going to see in a bit.
I see, oh devious one.
When Simon steps into it, it will bring him to me. And then I shall live again.
And by the way, this entire intro sequence was actually included in the demo as well. Yep, sorry.
As I say, you've said it, British Shao Kahn.
Yeah, so Sorted was killed in the last game. He's trying to come back to life in this game.
What the hell is this? I'm fed up of people dumping their rubbish.
I also have
on my
Simon.
roof.
I also have the Simon the Sorcerer 3D, and it actually does have some of the same voice actors. Like Simon's voice actor, for instance, is the same in that. That game is rather notorious, though,
I wonder what's in here.
because it
anyway.
kind of well, it had a bit of a troubled
I can't see.
production history, and when it came out,
Seems
like
to go on
like
forever.
graphically, it was very outdated. Oh, by the way, in the wall there's actually a poster of the first game's box art. And also
got a
something that maybe
question.
looks like naked women. I'm not sure.
If a magical closet just magically appeared in your room, would that be your first thing? Would that be your first gut instinct, is to jump inside of it?
And here's my favorite part of the introduction. This is where they get the credits, because they make this completely non-related, like little jokey bit. Like, this is like a big cartoon that they basically made for the intro here. Yeah, Simon the Sorcerer 2, The Lion, the Wizard, and the Wardrobe. So they're really, yeah, they're really leaning in on with the Narnia references, and
Hi, Sorcerer fans. What do you think of the new outfit, eh?
yeah,
I
Simon
see
got,
the broomstick. Where's the bed knobs?
yeah, and the Simon got a new outfit from the previous
Hey,
game.
kid!
He wore the same outfit in 3D, but in the first game he had like a purple wizard's getup.
That's adorable. Making the stick come to life.
Yeah, so there's a bit of a Fantasia sorceress apprentice thing going here.
Now for some stretching. To the left.
I hope he doesn't start playing with his wand.
To the right.
Did you notice that when he's to the left or the right, he was moving he's just lazily like lifting his hands.
Way of escaping.
Ah, gremlin!
Bet, Sheriff.
Oh, that's a cowboy, sorry.
Oh,
Ugh.
hi. Oh, yes.
Yeah, Broomy's getting kind of fed up with this.
It's a hard life being a computer game superstar.
Yeah, this game is kind of like a weird. I often use the phrase like fringe classic because this was the kind of game that if you played it back in this came out in 1995, and if you played it back then, you probably do remember this fairly fondly, but
Now mix
there were a lot of kind of these types of games going on at the same time, so it wasn't like it didn't make like a huge splash,
Pop to the fridge.
especially because it was
I'd
made
like
by
to
a
break
British,
an ice cream
like an
fluffy
independent
ball.
British developer.
Good man. Give it here, will you?
I love this.
I hope you realize this means war.
And it's funny, they just
Yeah, Broomy, Broomy.
did this whole thing just so they could have like all the developers'
Are you
names
Broomy?
be shown here. But I really love this. And I love the fact that they also included all of this in the demo as well.
Aha.
Because the demo basically sort of had the entire first act of the
I
game.
guess I showed him. We won't be short of firewood in a hurry.
They kind of they did streamline it a little bit for the demo. I remember the line went, "This is the demo for Simon the Sorcerer 2. Your mission is to find some porridge and make it rain over the city." Which, funny enough, I always assumed just meant that you were supposed to make porridge rain over the city, but actually those were two different tasks.
Grandfather, come quickly.
And there's Calypso. He's the wizard you had to save from Sordid in the last game.
Meanwhile, in Sordid's Fortress of Doom.
I cannot believe it!
What's wrong, oh magnificent one?
That infernal wardrobe has appeared somewhere else. Things like this always happen to me. All my life I've been plagued with it.
What you said about him being like a British Shao Kahn, like,
Started when I was a
I love the voiceover in this game.
My father.
And it also kind of reminds me of another game I really like, which is Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Ah.
Sorry.
Because the main thing that makes Simon very different from a lot of other adventure game heroes is that he's just perpetually mean to everybody. Like, that's kind of his whole thing. And that's actually... I actually didn't like this game for a while. Because of that, because you try to kind of associate yourself with the main character, but Simon is such a fucking jerkbag that I honestly kind of found it unlikable. But it took me a while to finally like get into the comedy of the whole series.
Are the final ingredient I need for my plan.
Yeah, Simon the Dick Wizard.
Simon the Dick Wizard. That sounds way more gross.
Alright, what's going on?
I love the music, by the way.
I'm glad to see
Yeah, the music is great. I love it as well.
Don't get personal with me, Grandad. How do you know my name, anyway?
I'm Calypso. Remember, you saved me in the last game.
You mean this is a sequel?
I'm afraid so.
Terrific. Well, that's today knackered for a
And
start.
this is what I love. Simon actually talks directly to the player a lot of the time.
I'm here to save the day. Again.
I didn't bring you here. You came in that.
What? The wardrobe?
It made
And there's a lot of things that they did in this game. We might catch a glimpse of it in the second episode, but if you don't click anything for a really long time, Simon starts doing a lot of different things. So they programmed in a lot of like idle animations, like he'll start like juggling things, or he'll start levitating, and he even like squishes his head up right up to the screen to kind of glance like, is anybody there?
To generate the 1.21 gigawatts of power, we'll need some pretty special fuel.
1.21 gigawatts, but I think he said 1.21 gigawatts.
Don't you mean...
It's the most potent source of raw
Oh yeah,
energy in
mucusade, that's the thing we
world.
need.
Okay, where can we get some?
Yummy!
Unfortunately, it's extremely rare. The only place they might have some is the castle treasury.
Right.
So we need to get to the castle.
Wouldn't be a sorcerer if there wasn't a castle involved. Or dragons. I hope we don't see any dragons.
Where's that
There's
bloody castle anyway?
I just love... Where's that bloody castle anyway? Alright,
Use it to save, load, or
I wanted to show you that postcard that's in the inventory. That's what that is for. That's what the options menu, basically, when you use it. And there's been a kind of an intentional kind of design choice that they made with this, that there's a lot of action icons, and I'm almost 100% convinced that they did this solely to increase the amount of time it takes you to do anything, because...
You can't hang around here, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah? Says who?
This is the royal castle, you know.
So?
Hanging around here is prohibited, okay?
That means you don't do it, right?
So beat it if you know what's good for you.
But I really need to get into the castle.
Well. He really needs to get into the castle.
We'd better let him in, then. If he has the proper identification.
Don't you recognize me? I'm a computer games megastar.
In that case, we'll give you an identification.
Yeah. Another game that's very much like this. I never actually played it, but have you ever played the Discworld games?
No, but I just recently saw a Did You Know Gaming on it, and there's some pretty filthy Easter eggs in those games.
Yeah. Well, those are obviously based on the Terry Pratchett novels, and I think that was the reason they were way more like well-known and well-received. Oh, there we had one of those awkward pauses. I think the CD was like spinning in the tray.
We'll call it about $72.
So we need $72. We need to bribe the guards.
I'm new here. How much is $1?
Basically, $1 is made up of 256 pence.
16 of which make...
Now, the reason I asked how much is $1 is because I'm actually writing this down as I was playing this. Because this helps you solve a puzzle in the game, which has to do with money conversion. But what was funny was that when I got to the puzzle, and we'll get to that puzzle in the second episode, is that once I was in the puzzle, I didn't actually need the... I wrote it down frantically, and I'm actually...
Can you go through the mud?
Yeah, and I asked them to do it again. But then when I was doing the puzzle, I just remembered all the answers, because it's the same 3 problems you have to solve every time. So I didn't actually need this, so sorry, we're kind of wasting time on this part.
$5 makes one silver.
Look at how beautiful the sprite art is, yeah.
And
Yep.
$45.
What were you saying?
Well, so that puzzle you mentioned about the 250 pence, that sounds an awful lot like a reference to Holy Grail when they're talking about the swallows.
Well,
Or the-
yeah,
the birds.
kind of, I guess, a little bit, but it's
Hello?
it's kind of they're also kind of making fun of, once you see the puzzle, like they're making fun of how there was a little pressure for video games to quote-unquote include educational elements in them.
Some good in everyone.
I think Simon actually does say the line, "There's a bit of edutainment for you." Alright, and now I'm going back to Calypso's because there are 2 vital inventory items we need here. And one of them is so tiny, I'm convinced that they did a lot of this just to intentionally increase the amount of time you spend playing the game. The baseball bat there, okay, that's pretty obvious. It kind of sticks out. But they're over there on the right next to the cash register. Do you see that little green square?
The thing that looks like a bong.
Calypso's granddaughter.
No, well, yeah. But do you see the little green square?
I see the green square on it, yes.
Yes,
Is
that's
it the
an
green
item we
square
need.
above the books?
Yeah.
Really?
Crossed his granddaughter,
That's a pretty obscure item.
You've told me so much about you.
Okay, here. This is really rude, these choices, you can say.
Did he tell you I was a grocer with a particular interest in melons?
He didn't tell me you were so rude.
I'm only just getting warmed up.
Oh, leave me alone.
This was probably the first time I kind of honestly got a little upset at... There we go. Die. Yeah, I'm convinced that they put that there intentionally just to make people run around aimlessly in the game for one part. But that part where you're talking to Calypso's granddaughter, Alexa, sorry, Alex, L-A-L-I-X. Like, that's the first time I really got kind of upset at Simon because, you know, I don't like saying rude things to girls, so people must remember that I was a little kid when I was playing this for the first time.
Looks like a red herring to me.
And that, I think, is a loving little in-joke to Monkey Island. That red herring.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so this is the thing we need to do.
Is this where I enter the magic tunnel?
We want to become the royal wizard so we can get in the castle.
Right. I'll just need a few
I got a
details.
question.
Name?
Why does the ticket guy look a little bit like Michael Myers from Halloween?
Simon.
It doesn't even have hair.
Sex?
Sorry, you're not really my type.
I'll just put male, shall I?
If you like.
It's funny that they have a tickets
What's
booth
your
because
date
they're not
of
really
birth?
selling tickets. It's just a waiting area, the tent. A birthday.
It was a Tuesday.
It was a Tuesday, I think.
Okay. Go into the waiting room and listen out for your number. You're number 9, okay?
I am not a number. I am a free man.
That was the first time
I get that reference.
Yeah, that's the first time I got a whiff of the prisoner, and then a few years down the line I actually did see the
Well, you see
television
that
show.
dog poo?
Well, how about the Iron Maiden song?
That's your favorite food.
No, this was long
Just
before I was
shut up,
watching,
will you?
listening to Iron Maiden. This was 95, like I played this back in the 90s.
The competition is a little too stiff for my liking.
But I got the game in around like 2000, I think.
Hey man, what do you
And
reckon
it actually
your
did
chances
come in that big
Anything
box,
that
remember?
I say.
Oh, this is a funny
I'm
conversation.
an Archmage Supreme of the 68th level.
are? Oh. That's quite good, is it?
I've also bribed the judges, fixed the results, and laboured for years over ancient tomes and scrolls. My life has been dedicated to attaining this position.
There could be a problem here.
I'm also the king's favourite cousin.
There will definitely be a problem here. I really need to thin out the competition a little.
Yeah, so this is one of our big tasks. We have to get these other wizards out of here.
I think this one's a little past his
I see a Jawa. Houdini!
You're looking a bit...
No, that's the Grim Reaper.
Oh!
Did you notice the scythe?
to do with a few home-cooked meals.
And now I try to get past into the other part of the tent.
Where do you think you're off to?
Ugh.
Sorry, I thought this led to the restroom. I mean, toilet. That should keep the Yanks happy anyway.
Wait for your number like everybody
Yeah, I think there
else.
might have been with the first game. There's a lot of jokes, I think, that they're referencing back to the first game, where they got, like, criticized for using, like, British phrases, and also that whole bit about, like, because there's another joke that they very obviously, like, making fun of, like, video game magazine reviewers later in the game. So I think they were kind of taking the piss out of, you know, the reviewers. Hey, here's some Morris dancers.
They're Morris dancers.
You don't have Morris dancing in Australia, do you?
Deary me, guys.
Probably,
You have to
but
take
not that
part
I'm
in
aware of.
Extremely sad activity. Maybe they don't talk or something.
Isn't this like specifically a German
I
thing?
think I'll watch for a minute.
No, this is a very English thing. Yeah, that's why I was thinking that maybe this isn't an Australian thing because it's like a tradition going back to the Middle Ages.
How are we gonna practice now? We've got our entire stick supply.
Sorry, mouth.
Yeah, they
To
broke
me,
their
that's just-
stick.
We'll try and see where
Ugh,
we can get another
that sounds
stick.
painful.
I love how big the guy's head is. There's a lot of characters in this game that have like giant heads because they clearly like put a lot of effort into the face animation. Because even though this came out in '95, this was obviously a DOS game.
Haven't you got anything better to do with your time than this?
Hello, lad.
Don't be bloody friendly to me.
Have you got a stick handy, lad?
No, I haven't. And even if I did, I wouldn't give it to you, you talentless peasant.
That's nice of you. Look out for one first.
Can't you even tell when you're being insulted? Are you that sad?
Boy, lad.
I've got no patience with Morris dancers.
Alright,
I like that mouth icon, by the way. It looks very British.
Good idea. They're too stupid to know the difference. Excuse me. I was wondering if you'd like this.
Yeah, well, this is actually... Oh yeah, this is the great thing I love about this game, is like
Here, boys.
how Simon sticks everything in his hat. So for once, it actually makes sense that he's lugging it all around, because he's a wizard. So he has a magical hat that he just kind of sticks everything in.
This should be a knockout.
Okay, lad. Let's begin.
Now, you can do a lot of these puzzles in whatever order you like, so it seems like we're just being dickbags for the sake of being dickbags here, but this actually does help us a little bit down the line at one point. This guy's still playing his accordion there. No, he stopped.
Oh! I got a question. Why is it a baseball bat in a British game? Shouldn't it be a cricket bat?
Well, that's what that's what I'm thinking. Like that they put that in intentionally, just like the restroom and toilet thing. That they were kind of making fun of the fact that maybe in the first game, because they used a lot of British expressions, like they might have gotten a little bit of like criticism for that. So now they're kind of taking the piss out of the Americans as well. And that's why I think that whole dollars bit is in the game as well. Like I'm suspicious. That's my suspicion. I have no way of knowing, because here's the thing, like Adventuresoft doesn't exist anymore, but there have actually been more Simon the Sorcerer games since then. And I think here we're oh yeah, we're gonna take this poster here. So
It's a poster advertising a vacancy as dance instructor for the Morris dance.
Those Morris dancers were quick. They put this poster up already. But it's the end of the episode, so you want to have any comments here at the end?
Not really.
Yeah, we're still at the really at the beginning, and sorry about these save files. They're kind of spoiling a little bit about things we're going to be seeing in the game. But yeah, we'll see you in the next part. So bye.